betting that 100% of your people leadership is now delivered on either the phone or in some kind of video conferencing session. And what I know is that you probably don't have a clue how to be a great leader in that medium. Hey, I'm Marla Skibbins, one of the Level Up EQ team, where we take leaders in tech and biotech to the next level of their leadership. So here you are. You've been great with people, or possibly not so great with people in live medium, and now you have to translate how you lead people in a virtual setting. And how do you do that? So I want to talk about 3 super simple tools that you can use that will up the connection, up the engagement, up the ability to know instead of making assumptions about what's going on with your people. Our first one you may do, but I doubt it. It's the check-in, check-out. So this will take time, and one of the things that is the enemy here is time. And the leaders I work with, and I'm sure you feel the same way, you're time pressured. And you're not going to be able to deliver the same level of engagement and connection with people in this medium, and so you have to take time at developing it. So the check-in, check-out is simple. It's when you're in a meeting, and you'll have to create this as a cultural thing so people start to expect it, or set the context in the first meeting. If it's maybe your executive team and you meet regularly, you need to set up that this is now an expectation that you do check-ins and check-outs. Super simple. You have people on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 I'm totally high, super excited, can't wait to have this conversation, or stoked about the day. 1 could barely get up out of bed, totally exhausted, hating life, whatever, right? You get a number, scale of 1 to 10, and then 1 or 2 words, not sentences. That's why it needs to go quickly so that you can get to work. Where are you? I'm excited and stoked. I'm tired and stressed. I'm expectant, a little concerned. So people get to say where they are. It starts to create a space, an environment where folks know what's going on, because we're missing all of the verbal cues. We get a little bit on Zoom, but we've got these tiny little thumbnails. It's not like sitting at a table with a life-size human being, sitting back, moving forward, breathing, making faces, doodling. You're not seeing all of that, and we're not in the same kind of environment. It's flat, so we can't see it. And I think much of where the disconnect is that we're not getting it. We think we are, but because we're in such a flat environment, and phone, we can be a little bit better because the auditory, we can turn up and hear things better. You can hear the intake of breath. You can hear a person kind of sigh or move away from the conversation, and you'll get better and better at reading this. And I'm not going to talk so much about phone as I am going to talk about video. But because it's flat, you have to learn things through asking. So doing that check-in gets an emotional read in the room, has everybody know how everybody is doing, and it creates a sense of togetherness, belonging, and connection. Before I finish with the check-in, the check-out. It's great, one, to let people just get clear about where they are now. A lot of times what's happening is leaders are now going from back-to-back Zoom calls, and they're getting over full. They're not getting to actually check in because they don't have that walk to the next meeting space. They don't have a sit in this meeting before the next meeting starts space. They don't have a chance to go to their office or whatever. So the checkout gives them a chance to check in, scale of 1 to 10, where are you now after this meeting? And they are either going to be up or down, that's fine. And then a 1 or 2 words. And then that gives you a read of how the meeting went. It gives everybody kind of a sense of checking in with one another one more time. And it helps that leader who checked out go, okay, here's where I am. Here's how I'm feeling as I move to the next meeting. because that's what that walk between was. It was kind of integrating what happened in the meeting, and we don't necessarily get that anymore. So that second piece that I was going to say is the temperature read. So this might be just a little bit annoying. I think what happens is groups will come to appreciate this. You can do temperature reads during conflict. You can do temperature reads during a place in the meeting where the energy you feel might have drifted, or feels like it's a little downbeat, or you're wondering what's going on and you don't know. So, and there's lots of different ways to do a temperature read. You can actually just set a bell to ring 1 or 2 times during the meeting where that will prompt it, or you can literally prompt it yourself. The temperature read is like this. It's just like a check-in. Okay. And it's a little bit different because you're asking them to reflect on what the experience is. So the temperature read goes like this. Okay, everybody pause. And you need to, again, at the beginning of the meeting, set the context. Don't just drop this on people. They're going to be like, what? But say, so we're going to do the meeting a little bit differently. We're going to do check-ins, we're going to do checkouts, and we're going to do temperature reads. And the temperature read is going to look like this, and the check-ins are going to look like this, and the outros or the checkouts are going to look like that. So here's what the temperature read is. It's that bell goes off, and then I'm going to point to each person, and you need to tell like one word that describes what you're experiencing right now. And that gives you a read of the room, a read of what's going on in the social field. And we talk a lot at Level Up EQ about the social field, because this is a really important part of leadership. It's being able to read the room, read what's going on. And now you've got a flat room, a flat medium, and you can't really know. And so your job is to be able to go, okay, what's your experience right now? What are you feeling? Not what are you thinking. We don't need somebody's ideas about the topic. We want to know what the feeling state is. I'm confused. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling enthused. You just want a read. It's emotional temperature read. And again, why is this important to you as a leader? Well, yes, content's important. That's what got you to the table. You understanding how to do the work is what got you there. What will get you to the next place is how to leverage your people. And you can't leverage them without knowing where they are and caring about where they are. And I've literally done meetings where I have a little app. It's called Insight Timer. You can have random bells go off at any moment and go bing. And then you do, okay, temperature read, and you get each person shares their word. And the thing I want to say both about check-ins and about temperature reads and checkouts, and this is super crucial, is that you don't do anything with what somebody says. You give them the safety of just being received and heard. And I think that's very important when you set the context, is that you say you're going to get to share your word. We're not going to do anything with it. We're not going to process it. We just want to get a read of where folks are. Okay? That way, when somebody says confused, bummed, you just kind of go, okay, thank you, and move on. And you've set the context so they know you're not going to dig into it, so they can feel safe in sharing where they are. So the final one is that you need to be willing to check out assumptions. And because much of what we do when we're communicating is we're doing a lot of nonverbal communication. We're picking up and reading cues that we're not getting anymore. We're not getting the video, in the video format, the same level of information. And you may start, and I have to say, the queen of this is email. We will read an email, and I know every person that I've coached has had this experience. I bet you've had this experience. You read an email and you make an assumption about what somebody's saying. You actually get bent out of shape and you want to write an email about what they said, And hopefully, if you're self-aware and self-managed enough, you don't send that email. And when you check out your assumption live, what you find out is so much different than what you read on that extremely flat medium of communication, because none of the emotions, none of the meaning, none of the heart, none of the nonverbals came through, okay? So Zoom's a little bit better, but not much. And so you need to be willing to, if you're hearing something or experiencing something, check it out. Be curious. Don't decide somebody is saying something or taking a position about something. Ask them. Here, and my favorite thing is to say, I'm making up, you're saying X. And that way you own it, it's your assumption, and then they get to go, oh, no, I'm not saying that at all. So that you get to check out your assumption instead of just making the assumption, and you know what they say about assumptions, but you actually find out what is true. Those 3 things will make you such a better people leader. You'll be able to have the information you need to help leverage and empower your people to be great, because you'll know what's going on with your people. So do that. Make sure that you click the subscribe button and make a comment and tell us what you learn about this check in and check out and assumption checking out and being willing to, do a temperature read during a meeting. Please try it and let us know how it went. Thank you for staying this long and watching our video. Thank you for being a part of our purpose, which is to make you an exceptional people leader and help you unlock the magic of your people.